Hey yo, champions fam, it's the bad guy Zeke 4-0 back with a brand new video. This is going to be short, sweet, and brief, so let's just get right to the point. It is a down period for me. We are literally just clearing out some more kickoff tour boss runs for the faction fam to get the faction contest taken care of. Obviously, we got some time left on it, so lo and behold, I don't have to go into work super early this time around, so we are going to knock out a couple of runs. Quite frankly, when it comes to the Summer of Champions 2 MLC, it is going to be interesting, the school years are right around the corner. So what better way to go out with a bang? Like, we literally had the Summer of Darkness, now it's the Summer of Champions. What's done in the dark comes to light. A little twist of fate, if you will. So I am hyped for this. I do love the idea of what they done right here with the whole concept of us voting, the fan votes. These are all characters that they had on the survey section of the portal where everyone got to vote. These characters that are in the game, these characters that we're having a chance at, were all we're all in the portal survey section. We all went through rounds. They were paired up against different people. There were a plethora of choices, and it got narrowed down to Ilya Dragunov, Maxime Dupree, Mae Young, and of course my boy Batista. So I'm loving the concept right here because they did the same thing with last year's batch with Oblivion Live. We were also gifted with Cowboy Bob Orton, Andy Hartwell. There was another, but they're not ringing a bell to me right now. So please fill me in. It has been a year since that initial release, so do forgive me on that. Do not unalive me because I do not remember the other character that was chosen. Nonetheless, y'all, I mean, look, this is a good situation, but I will tell you one thing that does annoy the crap out of me is doing these kickoff tour runs. It is definitely something where I'm loving that they are making it split up the workload. You got contests that are for the individual aspects of the game, and then you also have faction contests. Because, I mean, look, one of the big ordeals in WWE Champions for the longest time now has been factions. So it makes sense that we have more of an influx on the positive side to get faction participation from all members. So everyone doing their due diligence. It's like, okay, you might not have Batista yet if you're waiting and you are true thoroughbred, pure blooded, blue-blooded, free to play. You're waiting 4 days to properly recruit Batista, and then of course, then you can still pick up shards, and the shards do help out. The monthly dose of shards, not only for the A tier but the free to play unit, allows you to get further than you would in the super shard contest. So that is a gift within itself. And we got some very solid, very incredible characters that got released this go around. Batista is a monster. Mae Young looks solid. Maxime Dupree is a juggernaut. And of course, Ilya is just getting into some crazy shenanigans. I was hoping and praying that we were going to get more class dynamic here. I mean, Batista's a striker. Mae Young and Ilya are both technicians, and I agree with what the Champions chat spoke about. I honestly thought that we would finally get a trickster waifu legend in Mae Young, but it is what it is. I am truly curious now about who they're going to pull the trigger to be the first ever trickster waifu legend. That is definitely going to be an interesting thing because no lie, who could be a good legend trickster for everybody? Yeah, that's literally something where I'm the only person that is coming to mind for me that is a legend that would count as a legend because of who they were. And I know it'd be controversial. It'd be a controversial pick for sure. Only woman that's coming to mind is if you now have Mae Young in the game, it only makes sense for you now to bring forth the fabulous Moolah. That is the only person I can think about when you think about backstage politics, in-ring politics. Look, there's a lot that goes into it. I believe she was actually the reason why Wendy Richter lost the women's title. I believe that's what happened. She pulled some shenanigans backstage. She wore the mask and everything. I think she was like the Black Tarantula or the Black Widow. She faced off against Richter, forced the pin, and won, and ended Richter's title run. So the only person I could see that's a big name female waifu that could be a trickster to me would be Fabulous Moolah, especially now that Mae Young is in the game. And there's also something that is interesting about them too. I love what they did for Mae Young. Like, seeing her in her prime, she is a pioneer of women's wrestling. Her and Moolah, I don't agree with the things that I've heard and I've seen and read about and watched in videos with Fabulous Moolah, but may God rest her soul, rest in paradise. But at the end of the day, though, she was a pioneer of women's wrestling. Just like Mae Young, going up against men in a section that was, like some cloak and dagger type stuff. Like, hey, you only know about the business if you're either born in it or you pay dues. And those women definitely paid dues. Some dues might have been highly questionable. Someone else had to pay those dues for them. But at the end of the day, to see Mae Young in the game is definitely incredible. With the lore, it's absolutely incredible. So Moolah being in the game, it all depends on what the good old folks at Scopely want to do. But at the end of the day, I mean, look, I'm just excited. I'm hyped to see who else comes into the game now. What they could do, because I got sidetracked, is they could also make a elderly variant of both Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young, because the Attitude Era was a thing. Jeff Jarrett laying out the Fabulous Moolah with that guitar hit and dust coming off of her. Whoo, talk about a prehistoric bump, if you will. So I'm excited. I am, like I said, forgive me if I'm not thinking of anybody else, but the only woman that I could think of that would make sense to be the initial trickster legend would be Fabulous Moolah, because she did have some heel tactics. That's the only one I could genuinely think of. But outside of that, no one's coming to mind. But by all means, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I am looking forward to how things play out with this MLC for sure. If I don't get Ilya, that's fine. I'm already at 500 plus shards for Mae Young, so more than likely. And this is only the first week. Good Lord willing, because how they have it set up now, you got to pick and choose your spots when it pertains to recruiting certain characters. So I'm praying that I'm able to walk away with Mae Young. It's like, for me, my thing is now knowing that they've made the MLC in a way where you can at least walk away with the A tier, I always try my best to go for the A tier. That's just me. Now, here's another thing to consider too. They might have switched things up for this celebration, because now it's looking like WWE Champions has their own big four in a sense when it comes to certain content blocks. And what I mean by that is, obviously, if you know wrestling, you got the big four, which was initially Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Right now, they're saying that they're going to add Money in the Bank into it as well, because that's so critical to a lot of narratives being pushed forward when it comes to storylines on the brands, right? But in WWE Champions, you got certain things that come out. Normally during the summertime, you will always have, well, first and foremost, you have your anniversary. Usually some real good stuff happens with the anniversary. Following that, in the summertime, it's usually a collab situation, whether it was the Masters of the Universe, whether it was the Mutants making their debut, the Ghostbusters, and of course now we had Snoop Dogg prior, and then we also had Ozzy Osbourne. So that honestly, to me, makes me think, if they weigh it out and they play it right, we could see next year, if everything goes by the same format, we could possibly see Bad Bunny finally come into the game. We could. Things are subject to change, right? So, anniversary, you have your summer event, your collab event normally. Then you also have your zombies. The zombies are niche, but they are a subgenre and sub-era of champion, but they are usually very OP. They are usually monsters. So that is something to truly consider and look at and looking into. But last but not least, Black Friday is a situation where they get busy. A Marvel Contest of Champions was a mobile game that I played way back in the day. I don't play it anymore. But for them, they usually had 4th of July weekend where they had some insane, incredible deals and offers for all levels and tiers of players. So Black Friday for WWE Champions, that's usually where you get the player's choice, one of the best banners and loots to pull on if you are a player who invests in disposable income, because depending on the pool and depending on who's on there, it's no different from the 6-star Spangled Banner loot or the Celebration of the Nation loot. They have those banners. But that was the OG original, and normally when they have it at the end of the year for Black Friday, they usually, and sometimes they'll bring it back sporadically. They'll do like a best of 2024 situation where all the big time players that came out, like for instance, you'll have a better shot at pulling The Story Continues Cody Rhodes. You have a good shot at pulling Ilya Dragunov. You have a good shot at pulling Trish Stratus, Canadian Icon, or Rex Regum, Triple H. You will have a shot at those characters, and it's a guaranteed. It's no shards. It's literally you're pulling posters. So if you got people, yeah, you could get shards. But if you don't have people, you got a solid chance of picking up people. And that's what WWE Champion seems to be having going on with them. Their big four in game seems to be the anniversary, the summer collab event, the zombies, and then Black Friday. They also do some really cool stuff with the Christmas, but again, that's also a situation. Depends on your disposable income at the end of the day of what you want to do and how you want to go about things. But nonetheless, those are the events. Those are the times where I really suggest for people to pull on banners. When you go for Spring Outbreak, I tie that right along with the zombies. I will correlate with that tenfold. Player's Choice, Black Friday, I correlate those together all the same. Summer event, it can be literally Mutants. The one time was in June. Same thing when it came to, I believe, the Masters of the WWE Universe or Ghostbusters. I believe that was July, similar to what we had going on with Ozzy Osbourne and everything. So you want to pick your spots, especially if you are a free-to-play player or a dolphin who likes to invest here and there. That's something you definitely want to keep in mind so you get the most bang for your buck. Nonetheless, with the Summer Champions, with us being able to choose these people, I want to suggest this because there have been some hit and misses sometimes when it comes to some voting situations. I recall one time we had an opportunity to select the Santa gear that we wanted to be made available to everybody, right? So I believe a lot of people were going for a different gear. Forgive me. I don't want to lie. I think it was maybe a Showboat Steve Austin, if he has a Santa Claus gear. I think people were hoping for people to go for that one, but instead everyone opted for Mankind's gear. And it was it resonated differently. So, hey, to all my beloved champions, fam, next time that you see a vote and it correlates, look at things. Like they did one for the skill plate, and I believe the option was the Many Faces of Mankind skill plate with the Power Gem situation. And that was one where a lot of people forgot, that they were going for different plates. And look, if they had situated where, hey, pick a plate and they had the drip plate on there, or they had the Will of Cargill or something similar to that, or the Tiffy Time plate, it's be smart. Pick the plate that would be the rarest situation, and then you got a better chance at getting it through the milestones, So there's a lot that goes on in this game that I do like. There's also times where things can get frustrating. Like I said, I love grinding out content. I do, but doing these kickoff tour grinds can be tedious. But the plus side is when you got a faction fam that all works together. That's what makes it worthwhile, and you know that not only are you getting rewarded for your hard work, but everyone's getting rewarded rewarded for their hard work. So that is a blessing. I'm all over the place right now because I just want to just cover a lot of things, a lot of strong characters for this MLC. So best of luck to you. Even if you just focus in on Batista and that's all you get, you won. If you are a free-to-play character and you're just starting the game, you got a monster of a character in Batista. If you're able to do your due diligence and pick up Mae Young, that is also a good look. If you are able to recruit Maxine Dupree as well as get her gear, that's great. Now, more than likely, what I'm thinking is going to happen is, and it's possible, last time I know I did. I did invest in some disposable income when it pertained to a certain weekend contest that had to do with Brutus Creed, and I was able to get his gear that way. The same situation could possibly be said about Batista. You may not have to pull for a specific loot banner, but through the portal, check the milestones, the events that go along with certain weekend contests, and you may be able to get his gear. Will it cost you? Of course, but it might be a better situation because you know that you're fully guaranteed the gear by just spending, like I believe with Brutus Creed, you had to spend at least over $275, and that allowed you to get his gear for the 500% gem damage. So with Batista and the 200% power gem damage, basically equipping him with his own trainer ability, that would be the case that you would look at the same with Maxine. More than likely, possibly, they may do that. One or the way or the other. Either you go for Maxine with her gear in the loot, or Batista's going to have a situation where you're going to be able to get his gear, and that's going to be available within the portal situation or from a loot banner. Depends on your pick. If you like RNG, then by all means go for it. You might pick up some other great goodies there, or you could spend and you know that you guarantee it. So even if you get scoped on the loopholes and the banners, you are still able to walk away with Batista's gear guaranteed, and you don't have to worry about a thing. So that is something to also consider and think about. That's how I'm viewing it. But where were we at? MLC champions for this. The MLC champions are pretty solid. They're pretty great this go around. Be on the lookout for the big four when it comes to WWE champions, in my opinion. Anniversary, Zombies, Summer collab events, Black Friday. Those are the best situations. Certain ones for superstars, other ones for resources, resource deals and offers and packs. That is something to really think about and consider. Aside from that, I mean, I'm glad that WWE Champions is now going back to allowing us to hoard. You pop open your milestones from your milestones through contests, but when you pull bags, you get bags from daily login, or you get bags from tours. They do not pop open immediately now. I'm hoping that they are working. I'm hoping and praying that they are working on it so that you can just go ahead and make a selection, make a situation pop off where you're able to go ahead and go into your settings and set it up to be like, hey, only pop open milestone rewards, but keep your tour rewards closed as as manual open. You know, auto pop open milestone rewards, manually open bags and drops from tours and everything. That would be a very good situation. As long as you have the opportunity to pick and choose, I think that's what matters most. The quality of life in WWE Champions has been incredible. It has gotten better over time. So that is something to also look at and consider and think about. So I mean, this video is basically already over. I'm just grinding out tours. I'm doing this and just talking to y'all, just getting thoughts out. Again, I am curious about who will be the first waifu legend trickster. That is definitely something to be up there. If there are females that I'm missing out on, females that I'm not thinking about that you rightfully feel deserve the moniker of the legend era, then by all means, please drop that in the comments below. Who would you like to see in the next year's Summer Champions situation, Summer Champions 3, if there's a three-peat there, of course. Things are always subject to change. What is a quality of life situation you would like to see in the game? What are your thoughts on the big four, so to speak, in WWE champions? In other words, events. They've definitely gotten a pattern down. And now moving forward, now that we know the full broadcast of things that going forward, I am really excited to see what the, I believe, the 8-year anniversary is going to be for champions. Now that we know full well who's going to be available right from the gate. So that's going to be something also to consider and think about too. Black Friday is also going to be a situation where more than likely there will be a fifth character similar to the Sami Zayn situation, similar to the Ozzy situation. Certain situations we do get more than 4. Normally it's a character per week, a character per content. So the initial thing would be your character, your A tier for your showdown. Then you have a character that comes out for faction feud. You have a character that comes out for boss battle. You have a character that comes out for flash feud initially. And then you also have your free to play character, and then you could also have a surprise character as well. So that is something to consider too. Like, there are so many different characters that have yet to get into the game. What is an era that you feel that hasn't gotten any love? I mean, no lie, I would love to see them do another thing like showing love to legends, maybe all about the legends, or expanding on reality and PG. That would be very fun. That would be very great and crucial. Expanding their husbandos and waifus. Like, there's characters in the game that still haven't shown up, just like, for instance, Michelle McCool. We don't have a Michelle McCool yet. Candice Michelle would be interesting. Tenfold. Kelly. I think Kelly is not in the game yet. We have Tori Wilson, but we don't have Kelly. Jacqueline, Jazz, Gail Kim, Mia Yim. There are a lot of waifus. Thea Hale. There's a lot of good girls and waifus that have yet to come to the game. And then the same can apply for the men's side. There are so many wrestlers that have yet to come in here. You know what I mean? We can always go for more legends. There's always that. We could go for expanding New Gen. I mean, dang. I mean, there are a lot of great people. We could also get reworks of people. For instance, I think a character that should definitely get a rework just because of how pivotal he was in the game for the longest time during a certain meta. I think they need to show AJ Styles some more love. The 3 gears and the 4 gears, it ain't enough. He was top tier. He was a monster for a long time. I think he should get his flowers. Outside of that, the Undisputed Future Seth Rollins. He was a king of the game for a while. He had his moment. When it hurt, he's years and years old now. Rework him. There's other characters that, next big thing, Brock Lesnar. Another character that I feel that could definitely get a solid and strong rework. That would be someone that would be fun. Even Striker Trish Stratus. She was good. She was basically... There was a time where they were literally doing carbon copies of people. So literally, Striker Trish Stratus was basically next big thing Brock Lesnar, but a waifu. Amber Moon, who's still in the game. Amber Moon was basically a carbon copy of X-Pac. So there's a lot. I remember when X-Pac was a Chase champion. Can you believe that? Like, it's so crazy to think that there's some characters that we now get left and right, but back in the day, they were the initial Chase. Head of the table, Roman Reigns is a great example of that. Sika was a monster. And even Alpha, another great. So it's just interesting to see the changing of the guard, the time going like 1 minute Heavy Machinery Otis when Tucker was the free to play unit, he was the Chase, and then next thing you know, he was doing the thing with the Snowfall gems and the Protect gems, and then his time came and then it passed. It's very unique seeing things. And then like to get a guy like I'ma get him Jey Uso, who was lying in wait, but then all of a sudden starts getting mad moments that make him benefit you in so many different formats of gameplay. And now all of a sudden he gets that Miz moment, and now this guy is on a next level, like an OP monster. So with a universal moment. There's so much going on in here, man. I really do love how far the game has gone. I'm grateful for the official content creators. I'm grateful for FERPO working with them. I'm grateful for everybody just doing their due diligence to give us the best game that they possibly can. They're not going to be able to please everybody. There's still some actions that are highly questionable, but it's day and night compared to what they used to do and what they used to and how they used to go about things. So greatness takes time, just like wine, right? So with that being said, y'all, we have been on here for way too long, and we're just going to end the video here. Just wanted, I know I was spazzing. Forgive me, it happens sometimes. But Big Four, what do you think are the Big Four contests? Layout, like the structure, the framework. What do you think the Big Four when it comes to content are when it comes to WWE champions? What would you like to see offered in quality of life improvements? Who do you think are some characters that are not in the game yet that could definitely be brought into the game? Characters from all different eras, even subgenres and everything, who are or subcategories. Who would you like to see into the game? Your opinion? Do you think do you think Champions has hit its ceiling? Do you think 7 stars are going to be a thing? I got a strong feeling they're going to be a thing. With how we're getting these tokens shot out at us for the moment, it could come sooner rather than later. But nonetheless, if there was a skill plate idea you would like, what do you feel would be an OP build for it? Also, another thing to consider too, now that we're getting more of a balance of individual framework for content as well as faction framework, what improvements would you like to see on both sides when it comes to individual contests as well as faction contests? What would make things far more interesting? And even when it comes to league ups, they're not done with the leagues, y'all. There's going to be more contests. We're going to end up with a WrestleMania road tour. There has to be a WrestleMania road tour. So that might be where the 7 stars come into play. Okay? But nonetheless, y'all, I love you all. I respect you all. I'm praying for you all tenfold. Let the good times roll. But always know that, hey, yo, hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but champions do. Mad love and respect to each and every single one of you, my beloved Champions fam. If you enjoyed this video, and you just enjoyed me rambling and ranting, going all over the place with my thoughts, leave a like on the video, share the video to get people into the conversation within the comments below. And most importantly of all, if you really rock with your boy, if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to receive all future notifications from this channel. Also, within the video description is always going to be a link to the blog as well as the portal. But I also have, for the time being, gameplay links for Batista Bomb, as well as Maxime Dupree Alpha Academy. And I hope they help you and benefit you moving forward so you can make your decision on whether you want to keep on investing in Batista all the way, even after the MLC. And if you want to pursue Maxime Dupree, especially if you're able to get the ultimate strap, the skill plate that helps her cycle, that allow her to hit harder than ever before, and of course, that gear for both of them, and let alone check out and support the official content creators when it comes to gameplay on Mae Young, Unbreakable, and Ilya Dragunov. I believe the word it's foreign. I believe it is German for unbeatable. Unbeatable. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Do not mean to offend any of my German brethren. If I am wrong, please correct me on the proper language and text for his epithet on his card. But nonetheless, y'all, going to keep on grinding out some more boss nodes for the faction fam until we get that 10 out of 10. But we will be at it again. So we got a weekend contest of getting ready to go live sooner rather than later. Thank y'all so much for your patience. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Until next time, y'all. Peace.